minutes? No, we've been going to all these different cities. We did ziyarah. You recited the ziyarah nama for me. I did, I offered my salat. We went through the skies, we went through heaven, we went through hell. I saw all of this stuff. 5 minutes? He smiled at me and he told me, not even 5 minutes. I just told you 5 minutes, in order to make sure that you will not actually become frightened. You will not get scared. It didn't actually take any time, but I will give you 5 minutes for that. Because here, time doesn't matter. I was puzzled. As I was puzzled, I woke up and I looked at my watch and I had actually passed only 5 minutes. So I got up, I did my wudu again and I continued doing my dua for me. Right? Very similar case happened at the time of the Holy Prophet of Islam as well. Right? In the morning, after the morning prayer, after they do the azkar, the Holy Prophet gets up as he's about to leave the masjid, he looks around, he spots out this young fellow. He's like at the back of the masjid, right? And he's in a mood of snoozing, right? As if like he's facing the qibla, but his head keeps on tilting forward and backward, right? When you want to sleep or you don't want to sleep, right? So the Holy Prophet approaches this young fellow and then he asks him, how was your morning? How do you feel this morning, right? He said, Oh Rasulullah, my morning is in a way that I can see who is going to go to heaven and who is going to go to hell. As if I am seeing who's getting punished right now and who is benefiting from the bounties of heaven. Then Rasulullah says, for every claim, there has to be an evidence. What's the evidence of your claim? Then he says, my evidence of my claim is that nothing is more precious for me right now than asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to giving me the reward of becoming martyred in the battle on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you want the Holy Prophet, I can actually point to the people and I can tell which one is where, right? Rasulullah smiles and tells them, no, that's enough. You don't have to tell me anymore. May Allah grant you your wish, right? And he goes and he becomes a martyr in the battle of Badr or Uhud, I forgot which one it is, right? Meaning that this matter of spirituality is not a matter of postponing it for the future. No, it's happening as we are living. Again, it's upon us to focus on ourselves, right? Those who were before us, alhamdulillah, right? Those who have gone and they have acquired and they have reached the place that they wanted to be. We always have these majalis, right? We have this, for example, one of the shameful questions is that why do we repeat the history of Islam? For example, the time of Muharram, the time of Ramadan, right? What's the answer for this? Because that becomes objective for us. And if those who are good, the imams and the shuhada, they all have gone and they have reached the position that they truly deserve. It is upon us to actually work on ourselves and try to reach the level that they are in, right? So one of the ways to reach where they at is to review their lifestyle, review the way they made decisions, review how they actually saw the living in order for us to make the very same decisions, right? Very interesting when it comes to this matter of spirituality, right? What happens, what's opposite of spirituality? The topic of arrogance. The more of the arrogance we have, right, the less of the topic of spirituality we have to concentrate on. So what's the practical way of destroying this arrogance within ourselves? I find this phrase of Amir al-Mu'mineen the best practical way, right? Every time we feel a little bit good about ourselves, right? The set of accomplishment, remember the 5 stages of life. We can remember this hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen as well. He said, I wonder about human, right? Whose beginning is a najasa and whose end is a najasa. And during his life, he's a hammal of najasa. He's a carrier of najasa, right? Beginning is najasa, end becomes a corpse and becomes a najasa. And as he or she is living, he's the one who's carrying najasa with him constantly, right? Meaning referring to the body, right? How much more can we brag about this body which has this characteristics? But then again, it's a concept. You have to think about it, you have to contemplate about it, you have to make sure it gets embedded within our hearts. We say the salawat again. This salawat was really the salawat of month of Ramadan. Let me just finish with another phrase of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says, فَإِنَّ الْغَايَةَ أَمَامَكُمْ. Indeed, the destiny is in front of you. وَإِنَّ وَرَاءَكُمْ السَّاعَةَ تَحْتُوكُمْ. And the sa'ah, the time of departure, is from your behind, right? It's chasing you. تَحْتُوكُمْ. تَحْتُوكُمْ It's a long explanation. Basically, some of those, those people who had camels in the olden days, they used to sing this specific song for the camel, right? For the camel not to taste or not to understand the length of a journey, right? As if when they would start a journey, they would start singing, so the camel would not pay attention to how long is the journey, and they would reach the destination, right? So for all this time, they would sing behind the camel. So Amir al-Mu'minin uses this example, وَإِنَّمَا رَعَكُمْ السَّاعَةَ تَحْتِيكُمْ, meaning the time of departure, ajal, right? Is chasing you from the behind and is constantly singing for you and singing for you and singing for you in a way that you will not recognize how much of the time you have left. Then he says, تَخَفَّفُوا تَلَحَقُوا. Two words, very simple. تَخَفَّفُوا comes from khafif, takhfif, right? And تَلَحَقُوا, like when you actually read something. First he says, reduce and actually make your attachments less. تَخَفَّفُوا هَيْ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Remove your attachments, make your attachments from the dunya even less. تَلَحَقُوا. And join those who have gone before you, right? فَإِنَّمَا يُنْتَظَرُ عَقْبَلَكُمْ آخَرِكُمْ. Indeed, those who have gone ahead of you are awaiting your arrival, right? Meaning that this whole journey continues, right? As the time of departure is chasing us, what do we have to do? Number one, make our attachments to the physical, like desires and this dunya and all the wishes and wants less, right? The less we have, the easier we go. The easier we go, the speed goes up higher. The speed goes up higher, the sooner we will reach those who have left before us, inshallah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to become part of those who actually benefit from this month of Ramadan in the most and the perfect way, inshallah, and to actually combine us with the soul of our previous pious ones, pious brothers and sisters in the hereafter, inshallah. اللهم عجل وليك الفرج والعافية والناس واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره. O Allah, we ask you humbly to forgive all of our past sins, to forgive all of our past ones. O Allah, we ask you for the forgiveness of our future life, inshallah. O Allah, we ask you to protect our future family and generations. O Allah, we ask you for the tawfiq of the ziyarah of the Sunnah and the shafa'at of the Bayt in the hereafter. O Allah, on such a beloved night, we ask you to have mercy upon all of the marhumeen and marhumat. O Allah, we ask you for the cure of all of the diseased ones and sick ones. O Allah, on such a beloved night, we'll ask you to accept all of our fasting and prayers and du'as in this month. O Allah, we'll ask you for the ziyarat of Imam Hussein on the night before Friday, inshallah. O Allah, we'll ask you humbly not to take us from this world if you're completely satisfied with all of our actions. O Allah, all of our past ones are awaiting for all of our hasanat on such a beloved night. We know that our actions may not be capable of being a good hasanat, so Allah, upon your mercy, grant some of your special hasanat for all the marhumeen and marhumat for tonight. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات. اللهم صل على محمد